everybody, welcome to Head to Head. I'm your host, Brian Parker. So, what do we have going on in the world? Have you guys heard about the um, vaccine passports that are being introduced? Now, what is a vaccine passport? Well, pretty much now that folks are getting vaccinations and everybody's wanting to get back to normal, there's an idea out about having an app that will be able to prove that you have had your vaccine or that you have tested negative for coronavirus. Now, there's an uproar from a lot of people that feel like, again, this is another infringement on your rights, which is really rich because there's so many things that infringe on our rights on a daily basis. Your phones practically are GPS signals that track your movements at all times of the day. And it's not like this isn't a precedented thing. People are arguing that this is giving too much information to people when all it clearly states is, have you been vaccinated? Have you tested negative for the coronavirus? Can the people around you feel comfortable and safe knowing that whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a concert venue, whether it's just anywhere in general, that everyone around has either tested negative for coronavirus or they've been vaccinated? It doesn't tell anyone about your medical status, doesn't let them know about any ailments that you have. It doesn't share bank account information or anything whatsoever. Seems like a slam dunk, right? I mean, after all, when your kids want to go to school, don't they have to prove that they've had their shots? When you take your dog to the vet or when you take your dog to be boarded, don't you have to prove that your dog has had shots recently? I know when I used to stay in an apartment, we certainly had to make sure every single year that our dog's shot records were kept up to date and no one's going around with their hair on fire screaming freedoms and rights and everything. You know, here's the funny thing. The same people that are making a mess about this are the same ones that feel like you should have IDs and things like that to vote. Now, what's the difference between voting and proving that you've been vaccinated or had a negative corona test to be able to go to a Yankees game, for instance? Last time I checked, going to a Yankees game isn't a constitutional right. Being able to go to Walmart is not a constitutional right. Being able to go see Bruce Springsteen in concert in Madison Square Garden is not a constitutional right. But voting is. It is a protected right under the Constitution. But we worry about things that are not protected because there's a sense of entitlement that people feel to do certain things. I should be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, the rest of the world be damned. I'm sorry. That's not how it goes. When you want to go to vacation overseas, you take a passport. If you don't have a passport, you don't travel. If you don't have a driver's license, you don't drive. There's plenty of things that you show documentation to prove that you should be where you are. Every single day. This is no different. And this is one of the biggest things that have happened over the last 100 years. Why wouldn't you want to be safe? Now, listen, there are truly things that we should consider and make sure that these apps do not somehow siphon off information that it should not have. But just to sit there and blatantly just take it down because you don't like who proposed it, you don't like the idea of Big Brother watching, I'm sorry. There's a satellite watching you right now. I hate to tell it to you like that. We give out so much information. I see people that are on TikTok giving facial recognition issues out, transplanting their face onto their favorite scenes and movies and things like that. And I know everybody doesn't do it. Hell, I didn't do it. But I saw enough of it to know that people kind of pick and choose when they really want to give a damn about their freedoms or not. So spare me, really, seriously. It is not your right to go to any of these places. Yes, they have a right to be able to ask for proof and evidence, just as if you don't get your kids vaccinated, they don't go to school. If you can't prove that you've been vaccinated, why should we let you into an arena with everyone else who has? Now, there are some people that have chosen that they do not want to be vaccinated, and that's fine. I get that. There are just some people that have their mind made up that they shouldn't, and it is not going to be my job or anyone else's to try to convince them of otherwise. That is baked in the cake. They stand by what they stand by, and that's fine. But as we teach our children, every action you take, there is a consequence. So just because you choose not to get vaccinated doesn't mean the rest of the world isn't ready to move on. Sometimes you just don't come along for the ride. Until next time, y'all.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.